Thanksgiving is a time of year when people sit in reflection upon wonderful memories of days gone by. It is a time of rejoicing, of celebration, of reestablishing the bonds of friendship and family. It is the pinnacle of our autumnal consciousness. But it is also a time when the specters and phantoms of the past emerge to dance as vague shadows along the stones of the amber-lit hearth, to flit as tattered shades through the dark, crisp November air. Blackwater Media presents A Haunted Thanksgiving. For the Pilgrims, the winter of 1620 was a nightmare. The Mayflower remained in New England with the colonists throughout that terrible first winter. Although the ship was cold, damp, and unheated, it did provide a defense against the harsh New England winter until houses could be completed ashore. Still, the extreme cold, lack of food, and illness led to the death of half the group, both passengers and crewmen. But there were other deaths. Deaths that were not included in the official records of the colony. These deaths were not from disease or starvation. It was murder. The victims would be found, sometimes in the surrounding woods, sometimes in a field, and they were mangled horribly with their throats torn out. At that point, there had been 5 victims. Some colonists accused the Indians. Others suspected a pack of wolves. Many had heard howls coming from the depths of the forest. So a hunting party was formed. The men went out, and during the hunt 3 wolves were taken. And afterwards most people assumed that it was all over. And they were wrong. Each month following that, there were more victims. Victims that were found beaten, torn, ripped and mutilated following the first night of the full moon. The killer was both fiendish and brazen, even smashing into dwellings, as if it knew that its prey was powerless against it. After all, it was fast, cunning, and as strong as 10 men. The records aren't clear on when it all ended. In fact, there's very little information about the whole gruesome matter at all. Obviously, it's not in the history books. Obviously, it's not part of the traditional storytelling of the so-called First Thanksgiving. But it did happen. There are a few indigenous people, a few elders who have the knowledge of these events. A story of absolute terror passed down through the centuries. Think about it as you sit in front of a comforting fireplace on a cold November night. Think about it as you gather with friends and family for a great autumnal feast. Give it consideration as we move further into this holiday season. And if you possess the proper caution, care, and wisdom, you will know better than to venture too far from your door on nights of the full moon.